The 4-year court battle between the Greater Kokstad Municipality and the Kokstad Rate Payers Association came to an end 2 weeks ago after the Pietermaritzburg High Court handed down a judgment in favor of the rate payers. The battle between these two organizations was about the increase of the rates. The Rate Payers Association headed to court to invite the court to force the municipality to increase the rates to an acceptable level. They described the increment of 2019-2020 as dramatic and above inflation. In January 19, 2023, the court handed down a judgment declaring the municipality's rate increase as unlawful. To get more information about this, we are talking to the chairperson of the rate to the informative TV.
Andile, thank you very much, and thank you to your viewers. Andile, can I just add to your presentation that the court case was between the community of Kokstad and the GKM. The rate payers was in the forefront, but the Chamber of Commerce were involved and the community in the whole was involved.
Okay, all right. First of all, how did you receive the result of the court?
Andile, we're very happy with the result, but we're very sad on the other side because you know, as you said, this has been a 4-year fight, and this could have been resolved around the table. We had from the community side, and I'm talking about different forums, the rate payers, individuals, the Chamber of Commerce. We have tried to put different proposals on the table. The proof of that the open door policy of which GKM speaks so easily is not open is that they have not come with a proposal to date. It is either you pay the full rates or, and we've had a personal promise from the previous mayor that he will use community money, taxpayers' money, to use the best lawyers and fight this in High Court.
Okay.
So from our point of view, we didn't have a choice.
Okay. Since the outcome of the court case, have you spoken to the mayor, the current mayor?
Not personally, no.
Okay.
We've had an interesting development since.
Okay.
So we invited, or the Chamber of Commerce invited Vusi Demakwaya to Kokstad. And that's a very good mediator to start a platform for discussions. So no, Andile, unfortunately we've been let out of discussions and conversations. The only conversations GKM has with us is at meetings, but they just put us on the registration roll, and then they write the minutes the way they want to write it. So nothing concrete in any conversations.
No phone call, nothing.
No phone call, nothing.
Rudolf, as I said before, it was a 4-year battle between you and the municipality. How much did you spend?
Can I just finish off? I didn't answer your first question properly.
Yeah.
We were very happy with the outcome of the court case, and but we would like to still sit around the table and get to a plan to take this town to the next level.
Okay.
We've spent 3 million. It's about $1 million a year that we've spent in resources and court case. Now, we obviously accept that the other side have spent very similar. And remember, there's Kokstad involved as well. Kokstad has really not done their part in this, and the finance department of South Africa as well, because the first budget should not have gone through.
Okay.
So Kokstad should not have accepted the budget. The steps that were taken were wrong, and it was completely the budget itself. You know, a 50% jump and any increase is not a feasible increase.
Okay.
So we've spent 3 million to answer your question.
The battle started in 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
2018, 2019.
2019. I know the municipality, before doing anything, they do consult with the communities in terms of IDP meetings. When you started noticing this, I'm sure you were in an IDP meeting. Did you raise these issues, and what happened?
Indeed, of course, the questions were raised from day one, and it was a one-way street. So yes, we were at those meetings. We've obviously, from the court case, we've read some of the minutes from that meeting, and as I said to you, the minutes are written that concerns were raised, the concerns were handled, and that's the end of it. Those concerns were never really tabled in front of the full management. As a team, we can't find any evidence of that. So yes, at the IDP meeting, we would all be asked the right questions, given the right answers, but the same result. The decision was made before the IDP meetings, and it was just carried through.
There are numbers that we are talking about in terms of money, the increment, the percentage, and stuff like that. Now, just elaborate about this issue in terms of how much percentages were and monies that you guys were forced to pay, and can you tell about? I'm trying to give an ordinary person on the ground to understand the issue that we're talking about.
It plays off like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So if you consider that Kokstad was roughly established 126 years before 2018. As a collective, Kokstad paid 100 million rand. This is rounded off, 100 million rand rates.
Yeah.
Then GKM decided to jump this to 150 million in 1 year. So if you want to put that in perspective for a normal person, is Andile, you go and buy a car. The payment of your, it's not even a down payment on your car. You pay an expense, electricity. You pay 1,000 rand this month. Next month you pay 1,500 rand. That is the increase that the community had to face. But the secondary problem with that, Andile, is that the valuator did not use the same measuring stick to measure all the properties. So you would have a person paying 400% or 1,000% at worst case scenarios, but an average increase of 50% in rates, and that's unpayable. To put that into perspective, or then a third problem was that there was an adjustment made when they were drawn into a corner, and the corner was that we wrote to the Minister of Kokstad. The Minister of Kokstad wrote back to the municipality and said that fix the problem, and they vividly explained what the problem is, how it should be fixed, and Andile, the sad part is local government and GKM gets courses, they do courses. They educated in this. They are the people that should know, not me as a private person or a person as we're trying to explain to from the street. They are the experts. They should know that what you do. What they then did is they gave farmers 40% discount on their rates. They gave households 30% discount, residential, and they gave commercial properties 20% discount. Now, after those discounts, I personally have some commercial properties as well.
Yes.
The bottom line is that 30% of my profit, my net profit, goes to rates. And that makes the building unsustainable. So I can't own the building in Kokstad. If I have to develop a building now, I will not do it in Kokstad. So the result of it is that they're closing the economy down with the process.
Okay.
And again, for the plain person in the street, the normal person in the street, it is a 50% increase on your expenses. That is basically the answer to your question.
What is the acceptable increase when we are talking about the rates?
And then again, every year, the Minister of Finance gives and I can get the right documentation. It's not my field of experience. We've got a legal team that looks at that, but the municipality gets advice from the Minister of Finance. The advice for 2018-2019 was 5.5%.
Okay.
But this is the problem with our with the Municipal Act is that is advice only. They can use their discretion to basically budget and to meet their budget. So they can increase the rates to a higher extent. My problem is where's the line? Because if they can increase it by 50%, why not 100%? Why not 300%? And I don't have to explain to you what a 50% increase in your expenses does. So best to do is to keep to the advice that National Treasury gives you and stick to the 5.5%, and we wouldn't have this discussion. We wouldn't have had to fight this in court. And the irony of it is, if the municipality stuck to the 5.5%, they would have received more money at a constant income. Because ultimately, we need the local government, and the local government needs us. So it's a give and take. So obviously you need services, and we can't run this down without services. So it's a give and take. If we sat around the table and made this good for everybody, we would have had a stronger town now.
I am sure that before you went to court, you had a number of discussions. But how was the attitude of the municipality, and what were they saying to you, specifically to you guys about this?
Andile, first of all, when we started to raise this, it was taken on from a dictatorship from the municipality. They dictated to us, and they also then tried to intimidate us. And if I say us, anybody that spoke up against it.
Okay.
So if you spoke up against it, I've got a building that's been switched off illegally with electricity 7 times. My rates increase on that specific building was 300%. So it jumped 3 times. I tried to object, dispute, I tried all the legal ways. And to date, I still have a legal dispute in place for that property. And that's the only remedy you have against government. If you have an unacceptable tax to pay, you can put a dispute in place. That dispute has not been handled correctly to date or legally. So to answer your question, dictated to, manipulated, and then abused in public, and not me personally, or me personally only. Our administrator, Zipelele, was chased out of IDP meetings if she raised her voice or raised her concerns. She did not raise her voice, she raised her concerns. And we've been abused in public. There was no two-way public conversations. If there were, where's the evidence? And if you go back into the news and the newspaper articles written by different individuals and different community members, you will see dictatorship, abuse, and we will do it our way and only our way. So there's no two-way communications. That's happened the last 5 years.
What is the impact of this increment in as far as the economy is concerned here in town?
Can I throw the same question at you? What is the impact of corruption at Eskom? It closes down. If Eskom closes down, the country closes down. If the country closes down, the town closes down. So in this is a smaller economy. So obviously it's just Kokstad, but it's very simple. If you can't afford to pay something, you close down. So if you can't afford to pay commercial properties rates in Kokstad, you either try and sell it or you give it away and you move on to the next town. So we've got quite a few investors. Me personally, as a developer, I will not develop in town. I can give you 10 letters from the biggest developers in town that declare that they will not develop until this has been resolved. So let's just take that back. 5 years back, developers said we're not going to develop. No developments taken, proper developments taken place in the last 5 years. If politicians say that Rollet's complex in Kokstad is new development, that was planned 10 years ago, and it was nearly derailed by this. But they got additional 50% discount to save the project. So, no, your economy falls down completely. The cards start to tumble. So people firstly don't want to invest. House owners don't want to buy houses. We have the highest randage in South Africa. Sandton's randage is lower than ours in Joburg. Cape Town, Durban, Maritzburg. We have the highest randage in South Africa. So, Andile, stay with that here, don't buy a house in Kokstad. To put it in perspective, commercial, and this is rounded off, so I don't have these figures in front of me, but our randage commercially in Kokstad is 0.03, and Matat it's 0.01. So it is more than double Matatiela's rates in Kokstad, and it is very close to double Cape Town's, and it is very close to double Sandton's rates. So does that answer your question?
Now, you said to me you were bullied in the meetings whenever you were raising the issue of rates. How can you describe the relationship between you guys and the municipality currently?
From which side are you looking? So in public, the municipality would say our door is open, please come and talk to us.
Okay.
We haven't had that from our side. We've got a problem currently with the valuator. We've said that the valuator didn't use the same measuring stick, and there's some of our members have found that there's a legal issue with the valuator. The municipality hasn't even answered our lawyers to investigate the matter. So communication is zero at the moment, and we are met with a smile. The door is open, but unfortunately, the ears aren't open.
Okay. Now that the mayor has told us as the media, after the result of the court, that they are going back to court to appeal.
It is a surprise to me personally. Now, again, I'm not an expert on this, but as I understand it, the judgment is not a final judgment yet. So in my ignorance, I expected the municipality just to finalize the last information, and then the judgment would be complete. That's the way I understand it. Could be wrong. Obviously, to appeal it would be just throwing more money down a black hole. I don't think the result will be different. The newspaper article I read was that they are appealing this because it will bankrupt the municipality, and secondly, it will set a precedent for other municipalities. Now, my question to you, Andile, is would that be a precedent to follow the law? Isn't that why the law is written? Isn't that why we have guidelines? And isn't that what guides us? So that we as a ratepayer pay the fair rates for fair services. And that's the guideline. So I don't understand the appeal.
Well, you are waiting for them now to go forward with their appeal.
First prize would be that we've gone this far. Nobody wins in war. They've declared war against the community of Kokstad. Not against me personally. I'm just one member of over 4,000 ratepayers. They've declared war against the ratepayers. What do you do in war?
Fight.
You fight to win. What is the next step? I don't know. Possibly a raids boycott, a shutdown of town. That will hurt everybody. It will hurt the business. It will, and the worst of this fight is, the poor always suffers first. I will eat. I will still drive a St. Paul. I will live. So will most of business, so will most of the investors. They will just invest somewhere else. And if they have to move their money out of the country, if we don't make it attractive, they won't invest in this town or in this country. And that's what we see throughout South Africa at the moment. So from me, I'm born in Matatiele, Yorktown. I've been here all my life. I want to make this the best community and the best place to stay for all. And I employ quite a few people. So if the economy thrives, the community thrives. If the economy suffers, the community suffers, and the poor suffers first. So that is basically the problem.
All right, this is the chairperson of the Rate Payers Association in the Greater Kokstad Municipality. Just maybe the last question, Rudolf. Do you think this is happening because you are white?
Definitely not. I don't think there's been any discrimination here. I think that if you speak up against the GKM as the dictator here, you are taken out. Zipelele is not white.
Okay.
A lot of the communities, in actual fact, the most people that suffered are not white. I have seen people's electricity being switched off, pensioners that go and cry at the municipality. I've seen it personally. This is first-hand experience. They weren't white. So this is definitely not a white-black thing. There's no discrimination. So everybody has been done in. The whole community has been done in. I am a white South African, but I'm a South African first. And I'm at the bottom of the food chain. I'm white, Afrikaans, and male. Yes, so there is. I'm currently disadvantaged, but in this case, no, not at all. It's been discrimination against or taxed against all.
Okay, all right. Anything that you want to say pertaining this issue to the rate payers in Kokstad and our viewers? Is there anything that you think it's important for you to say?
Definitely. If I may face the camera, I would say the time has come for South Africans to stand up and to make our voices heard. We can see this right through South Africa. This is an incredible country to stay in. There's a lot of potential here. Let us all stand together. Take hands with our government and our local government for that case and make this happen. This case is still possible to resolve. We can resolve it. It will be very quick to resolve. We've got quite a few proposals on the table, and we can do that without bankrupting Kokstad. But we as a community need to stand together and tell the politicians that they are public servants and they work with and for us as well, and that we will make this town a better town for all together. Politicians and municipal managers and GKM managers come and go. The community is here to stay. They've built their livelihoods here. And it is our responsibility to make this community a better place for all.
All right.